your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Don. Chaz Evans. You're checking out the hottest podcast in the world, the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row crowd.
Oh, man, we definitely had some errors right off the jump. That's kind of what's expected. Yo, what's up? Yes, right. It's your boy, the one, your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. That's right. We're here today because normally Chaz would be doing these intros and Chaz was like, Cliff, you do it. And I was like, oh, all right, here we go. So it is time. That's right. It is not Chaz and friends, but Cliff and friends. And let's talk about my friend who's going to be going on one with the friendly one. That's right. He's sitting right next to me that way. He is the man who does the paperwork, the man who handles the paperwork, because simply I don't do nothing with the paperwork. He is the leader of pure ignorance. As much as he wants to deny it, he says we're a trio, we all work together, but clearly he is the Hydra head on there. And if you guys don't know, now you know. It is the Don Chaz Evans.
Yo, it's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Grappital region's best kept secret, the world's greatest hater, the Don Chaz Evans. The 3-head Hydra of pure ignorance is a crazy thing right now. And I'm writing that down as we speak because that's money, and I like that one. Putting that
You're
in
gonna be like, oh, that came right off the fly.
It did, bro. And if you didn't know, now you know. You put that at the end too, and it just flowed. Oh, that rhymed too. Whoa, I'm a rapper now, guys. Okay.
Whoa! Now you're just borrowing all the stuff that I took from somebody else. Okay, like we can't have that.
You're right. But yeah, y'all, it was a crazy weekend for us as far as wrestling wise. Yeah, we are wrestling. Crazy enough. This is a crazy year, as you all have been. I think we started the podcast the same week we had when we went back to wrestling. So I think every week we've had a show. One of us has had a booking that weekend. So yeah, we had one yesterday, both of us. So I'm tired. And I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like hosting, but I made sure because I told y'all we probably wasn't going to do a show like that first week when we came back. And I said, you know what? I'm going to prove myself wrong. And I forced myself to get on here with you guys. And plus, there's a lot of chatter about the Rumble, and I think it's not necessary. So it's important we do a show because the Rumble was amazing. And not only that, Dynamite was dope too. So yeah, I just don't feel like hosting, guys. I don't.
But enough with all that. Let's get into some intros and announcements, right? So if you guys don't know, you can find all of our merch still at prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Podcast because Chaz has been too lazy to put it on for your wear.
Way to just wow.
Hey, I said at the top of the show, okay, Chaz handles all of the paperwork stuff. I just kind of do all the other stuff that goes behind the scenes. So the paperwork stuff that Chaz clearly has to do for your wear is not done yet. It will be soon, whether it's this week, next week, or maybe sometime in the next year. You will see it on foryourwear.com. Also, if you guys haven't yet, subscribe to all of our stuff, right? Follow us on all the social media platforms. You look right down below. You can see it right there. On Twitter, it is 3count_pod. Everything else is 3countpod. Go check us out. You guys can subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. Follow us on Spotify. Leave us those 5-star /reviews that you do on Apple Podcasts because we definitely appreciate it. We know it doesn't take a lot, and we definitely love the fact that you do. Share this video with all of your friends. Share the stream with all your friends. Come in, talk to us. Have a great time. We love having conversations with each and every one of you. So just come in and just say what up. That's kind of what it is. More importantly, things that are going on in Studio 1B, a part of Now Enter Ring. Chaz, what do you have? Nothing, because you know that I do that show. So I'll let you guys know. This is actually the first week in 53 weeks that we have not had an episode. I think it's actually been longer than that. I mean, it's probably been like 2 years. But I do have some interviews planned for upcoming week. I do think that if I do have the interview that's planned for tomorrow, you guys will see that on Tuesday for definitely, so that way we can keep the streak going. But if not, You guys just get an episode next week. It is what it is. Like, hey, you guys get this content for free. We try to push it out to you as weekly as we can, but hey, it is what it is.
Hey,
so
exactly.
it just happens. Go through foryourwear.com/, isn't it pure ignorance, right? Altogether,
yes.
pure underscore ignorance.
Yes.
Go to foryourwear.com, check out the wrestler stores, go buy Chaz and Pure Ignorance's merch. Of course, your boy's on there too. Go check out the Red Dog. That's right. You guys can see
we actually
repping our stuff.
Pure Ignorance gotten something. We got new merch dropping soon, very soon. Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. I think people. It's one that people have been asking for since the jump of Pure Ignorance. So, definitely excited to drop that for everybody because kind of works with the whole Duffin season. Now I've said too much.
Well, and Chaz and I kind of behind the scenes to let you guys know, been working on a new logo with Red Dog, so you guys will be seeing that merch come out too as well. It's not official yet. I don't even want to drop any names or hints or anything about it, but you guys will definitely enjoy it. I promise you. What else we got going on? That's it. So let's talk about the indie spotlight. So Chaz and I have been working furiously, right, to go get as much info about what's going on in the indie world. So Chaz, I'm gonna let you have this one. It is the indie roundup. So let's talk about what's going on in the indie world.
All righty. So let's start off last Sunday, actually, while we were doing our show live, UCW was having their inaugural show, their opening show, and well, not the opening show, but their second show. Sorry. And let's start it off. So, Valen Von Rockwell introduces Sabrina and Harley as the Undisputed Girls, as well as the new UCW tag titles. Hopefully, those blue straps coming to Pure Ignorance. Hopefully, actually, no, there's no hopefully. It's gonna happen because guess what? Me and I think it's me and Noah. I think we're teaming up in the tournament. We're gonna whip everybody's tail, but until that happens, Ricky Price alongside Gavin, MJ Stacks, and CR O'Malley successfully defended his Frontier Pro Wrestling Pride Championship against Nathaniel Cunningham, accompanied by Shelby Waters. Skylar Kincaid, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, defeated Aaron Roxas to become the #1 contender for the UCW Championship. Nice and Smooth defeated Team JD with CR O'Malley to advance in the second round of the tag tournament. They better not see me. Edge of Hope defeat Mancuso Brothers to advance in the second round of the tag tournament. They better not face me because they ain't going to have no hope. Adrian Sereno alongside Delia successfully defended the PPW WILN TV Championship against Prince Piranha. Luca, my homie right there, that's the homie. Luca Mancini came out to announce that he will not be partaking in the dog collar match against Uncle Masty, but the Tater City Madman had other plans, and what may have been the best match of the night, Uncle Masty got his revenge as he gave Luca the J Driller to win the match. CXR put on a show for the crowd as they defeated a disgruntled Dem Good Old Boys to advance to the second round of the tag tournament. The #1 seeded tag team, Diamond City War Machines, who beat it Pure Ignorance, the incarnation of Machiavelli and Noah, not Chaz Evans. They beat them at UCW. But Diamond City War Machines defeat the Midnight Delight as Penn had hit them with the Briscoes Doomsday device to advance to the second round of the tag tournament. Valen Rockwell came out to announce that Jeff Carden would be the referee for the main event. And a bloodied HC Lock successfully defended his UCW championship against Joey Martinez, and Mr. Ruda. Jeff Carden was knocked out during the match. And Mr. Ruda brought out referee Jim Hoper, who turned out to be just as crooked as Ruda. After several failed attempts at a quick count, Locke was able to turn the tables on Martinez and company. So that is UCW from last Sunday. Now, moving on to Bel Air, Maryland this past Saturday. AWA Rage in the Cage featuring yours truly, Red Dog.
Yay!
Red Dog. So let's start off in the Castle, Bel Air Armory, EW Rage in the Cage. Shane Banner won the Outside In Rumble. Sean Raymond and Colin Sheen defeated John Berg and John Berg Jr. Cayman MK defeated Jägermeister. Hero Napier and Michael Anthony defeated Stellman and Corey Bush. Shout out to Corey Bush. Siler, Old Man Young Boy, Eddie Blast, and Hamish Stewart defeated Rico Hendricks, Aaron Ho, Jägermeister, and Red Dog.
Yeah, I don't understand. So, not that I'm going to like interject in here, but I'm going to interject. It is hard, okay, to win when you don't even have your whole A squad. You don't even have a B squad. You're dealing with the D squad. I said what I said. Rico and I were the only OGs in there. Everybody else, we didn't have our backups. We had backups to our back. Listen, we were dealing with Brock Purdy and his backup. That's what we were playing with. We didn't even have a good team. I didn't say it.
Dang.
On the front though, Jägermeister did work 2 matches though. So.
Jeez. Well, at least you fought hard, Red Dog. You fought hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, Superstar Saw Esparza. I do that all the time. Successfully defended his cruiserweight title against Eel O'Neill. How was that, Cliff? That was
a fun match.
I'm about to say, did it smack of all smack like it was going to smack?
Yeah, it did.
I kind of figured. Yeah, that's definitely one, folks. If you get a chance, when they drop it on EWA's YouTube channel, go check that match out. I haven't seen it yet. I know it was fire. Go check that one out. Art of War successfully defended their tag team titles against Jason Drake and Jesse Orion. Tomahawk successfully defended his EWA Heavyweight Championship against Grizzly O in the main event. Now, last match in the Indie Roundup, coming out of Riverside, New Jersey, Orochi Pro Wrestling, their inaugural show as well. All right, so let's get right down to it. 6-way scrambler match, okay? And Dino defeats Mookie Summers, Bennett, Noah Idol, James Gray, and Bristol Lion Marcus Schuyler. I just want to put out there that my boy Nova was looking sharp like a tack out there, okay? All right? I just want to put out that he duffed Bennett. Stomped on his foot, too. It was funny. It was funny, bro. He back kicked him. Bow! Knee. Boom! Stomped his foot. My man did a discus duff, too. He said, what? Like it was real Brody Lee, like. It was clean. But yeah, he still took it now. Well, no, he didn't, because he didn't get pinned.
I mean, I didn't get pinned either.
You're right. Well, no, it's a scramble match. Whatever. Anyway,
I don't care.
Big effing Vin defeated Uncle Masty. The ACPW Heavyweight Championship match. The Alpha Tyreno defeats King Crab with Captain Decapitate, everyone's favorite pirate. TJ Reno and Harleen Lopez defeated the Outfielders. That was actually a fire in intergender tag match. I will say, like I was watching that. It was actually fire. Nadia Adonis Valero defeats Frightmare. Brew Valen defeats Pancakes. Pure Ignorance, Chaz Evans and Prince Machiavelli, them 410 boys, put to sleep the Air Show, Razor Wing and Mach 10. Fire match. I would love to work them anytime, any place, anywhere. Big ups to them, but I am a man of my word. Every time the Cavelli clutch gets put on, people go to sleep. It's nap time. So, but in the main event, the House of Hosses, Devontes defeats the Living Horror, Suicide Myers in your main event. And that, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of the Chaz, the Don, and the Grappital region, is your indie roundup. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, it's got to be like the Grappital region's best wrestler. Like you got to make sure to put it all together like that. So it's like the the Chaz, the Don, and the Grappital region.
Okay,
gotcha. And the Grappital's best regional wrestler, because it feels weird when you're just like the gravel region. Like, cool. That would be
Okay.
just like saying the Father, the Son, and the Holy.
Got you.
You gotta put the punctuation at the
Got you. I got you.
end.
Got you. Got you.
We're still working on catchphrases, y'all,
We're
just in case
still.
you're wondering. But hey, so let's talk about it, right? We're gonna get to our first debate topic. The Royal Rumble was last night. Now, Chaz and I were working shows. I'm gonna be honest. I told everybody, like, if you talk to me about this show, because to me the Royal Rumble is like Christmas, right? Like, if you talk to me about the Rumble, tell me who got in the Rumble, who won the Rumble, I will block you for the year until the next Rumble, right? I want you to learn the lesson, the hard lesson of what it's like to know to spoil something like that for me. So I stayed off of the internet, and I got home like 11:30, close to midnight, and watched the Rumble till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Passed out and woke up, and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I finished watching the Rumble from there. So to be honest, but like,
I got to watch it in the car. I got to watch it on the ride back from my show. As soon
you
as the
definitely
Rumble,
went live, yeah.
as soon as the Rumble started, Machiavelli and his wife legit were pulling up around the corner, beeping the horn like "Let's go," and me and Noah was walking in the walking the car, and it's now time for your Royal Rumble. I'm like, oh, perfect timing.
So let's get into it, right? So there's been a lot of debate between like the men and the women's Rumble, right? Whether it was good or whose was better, or right, or just overall, like with the show, just in general. Because I've been reading on Twitter, seeing people were saying like this year's Rumble was kind of meh, and this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. But let's talk about it. So to me, I guess like the topic we'll talk about was one, who had the better Rumble, right, men or women, and then two, like, was this just kind of a meh pay-per-view?
All right. So, first off, who had the better Rumble? I think if you, I mean, well, it also depends on what you determine as how good Rumble is.
Right.
I think that's also a thing. What you depend on the criteria, because I feel like a lot of people would say that the men's Royal Rumble was meh because there was lack of surprises, and or we knew the winner automatically. It was predictable. I will have to agree that the women killed it for what they had to work with as well. Now, by no means were their wrestling and as far as wrestling moves and stuff were crisp and clean. You're in a battle royal. Like it's all about spots and pockets of stuff when you're in a Rumble. But I think people will say that the women were better because they had surprises. Nia Jax returning, Michelle McCool popping out from the front row. I thought was kind of a cool thing because I definitely was like, oh, when they showed her in the beginning, I go, oh, well, she's not in the Rumble. And so, and of course, the NXT superstars that showed up, which I thought were fired. I thought Zoe Starks did good. I also thought Roxanne, which I was like super hyped. I'm like, hey, that's the NXT Women's Champion. Like, let's go. So I thought I thought as far as the women, it was structured better than the men.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with Gunther and Cody for a good extra 10 at the end, and just seeing Cody get his ass beat and build that, that baby face sympathy. And you like Cody, if you watch the press release, the press conference afterwards, Cody goes, if you know me without a leash, you know how I can get. And Cody, you should have known once Gunther and Cody were the last two that Gunther was going to beat that little boy ass. And he did. And Cody won, of course. We knew that was coming. But I think the big thing about coming out of the men was Gunther coming in and beating the record.
Yeah.
Same thing as Rhea. I think this year's Rumble was just to break records, really.
Yeah, I think endurance records. I think that was the goal from the jump was we're gonna smash these records. and we're gonna set a whole precedence of everything that's gonna be happening. I mean, let's be real. Like with WWE, like it was meant to happen, right? Because like Rey Mysterio broke that record back in 2006, and at 62 minutes long. And I think it was just time, like, for someone else to do it. So when WWE put Gunther in there at 1, it made sense, and it was just cool. It was cool to see though, and I'm not gonna front. I mean, I kind of popped when I saw that Gunther was the last one in too. So it kind of, I don't know. It's funny to me because it kind of said to me that if Cody wasn't in, Gunther would have been the dude to win.
Yeah. That's the only. I just, to be honest, there was no other person in that Rumble that made me believe that they could win it besides Gunther. I think putting Cody at 30 was. I don't think that was the way to go. Like you said, it was predictable.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was also, to give Cody a break because we knew because Cody was going to, get mutilated by Gunther at the end. So I guess give him, time to, really acclimate himself back in the ring for being gone for so long. But if it wasn't Cody, there was no one else in that Royal Rumble match that really could have won. I mean, yeah, Brock was in there, but Brock got eliminated. So it was there. Meh. I can see why people were calling the men's Rumble meh. There was no.
It's weird though.
There was no shock.
I'm gonna go on the other side.
You knew going in that Cody was winning, and if Cody wasn't winning, it had to be, like we said last week. It had to be who? The Rock. And The Rock then said he ain't gonna be there. Even Triple H said it last night, and it's not happening. So if Cody was the only other option and there are no possibilities, then hey, I mean, we were just going through formalities as far as fans concerned.
So one, I do want to I want to put this comment up really quick because like this is definitely, so we're talking about surprises and stuff like that. We can't forget Chelsea Green coming back.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was a cool. I popped for that. I'm not gonna front. That was a major thing. And also, I'm gonna put this up here too. Comment saying, big thing knowing the person that finished second ends up also getting the push for Mania. I think that's a big thing. But I'm gonna be honest, on the women's side though, like I don't want to knock her, right? Because I do see that she's putting in a lot of hard work. And yes, I do think Liv like deserves that kind of push. But Asuka was putting it down last night too, and I was like, dude, that was lit.
The thing about the women is the final 3. It was a perfect final 3 because you had Asuka coming back, which was okay, we didn't know that was going to happen. There's your quote unquote surprise. You had Rhea, who probably everybody had going in was the favorite to win it. And then you had Liv, who was just loved by everyone. And when Liv's in a situation like that, everyone's going to get behind Liv because we want to see Liv succeed. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect. It could have that's what the Rumble lacked.
But you know what? I'm gonna go on the other side, right?
Because they could have went either way. As I was watching it as if like, oh wait, they could give it to Liv. Oh, we might get Liv and Bianca, like an actual program. Liv.
I think you don't go wrong with all 3 of those matches though. Like let's say all 6 scenarios, right? Whether it's Liv, Rhea, or Asuka versus Bianca Belair, or Liv, Rhea, Bianca, Liv, Rhea, and Asuka versus Flair. Like those aren't bad matches.
No,
like at WrestleMania for a headliner, like that's not a bad match.
No,
like that's a fire ass match.
No, yeah, all those matches could main event one of those WrestleMania nights. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna put this comment up real quick. And then I kind of want to talk about it as far as like the men's Rumble goes, right? So Bobby Lashley eliminated Brock the way that he did was a wow factor. I agree. It was kind of cool to see. But I think the only problem I had with it was the fact that Goldberg had did it like 3 years before, and like I think that was my biggest issue with it, because like it was cool to see that Bobby Lashley was also able to like kind of manhandle Brock, but it's just the idea that I've seen Goldberg do it when he did the Survivor Series thing, and then he came into the Rumble and just eliminated him real quick, and then obviously like I think Goldberg got eliminated by Undertaker like right after that. So I mean, it was cool, but it was just kind of like I kind of like it, but I kind of also I've seen this before, and that's a problem, right? Because this kind of leads into everything else I want to say, because that aspect of the Rumble was one thing that I was super excited about. I loved the storytelling that came with the Rumble. Now, my only problem with the Rumble is that it was kind of predictable in the sense of like who may come out if you're following like the storylines, right? So like when Omos came out, right? Like, oh shit, here comes Omos, and then all of a sudden, who comes out next? Braun Strowman, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so now the two big guys are gonna fight it out, and they've had history, right? And then prior to that, right, the number one person, Gunther, who's number two, Sheamus, right? So we're seeing like all these stories that were like playing out, and we're watching everybody run the way that they're running. So it's like, yeah, I kind of like it, but also kind of don't. But it made the whole Rumble flow smoothly, which I appreciated a lot, because I felt like we were getting a lot of good storytelling into it. And it was the same thing with the women, right? So the women were telling like these great stories about like who's entering in, who's doing what, and like the eliminations kind of made sense. Like it wasn't like spastic. Although I do want to say, I hope Kofi is doing fine, because that spot looked like he botched it pretty hard, and like he was grabbing the back of his head pretty tough when he was trying to land back on that chair. So I was like, if he got hurt, I just want to say, best wishes to you. But if not, hey man, like it's the second spot that you've blown back-to-back years, bro. And I kind of think that we need to reevaluate Kofi being like the surprise, like, hey, I saved myself this way kind of guy, because like you can't keep going bigger when you're aging. You know what I mean? Like, kind of have to let somebody else have those spots, because let's be real, that Logan Paul Ricochet spot where they clashed in midair, I was like, oh wow. I was like, that was crazy.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. Shout out to Logan Paul.
Yeah, shout out to Ty for putting out there, Ty the Playmaker, for talking about how people, who like that spot, he hates them. So you can hate me too.
Well, no, because he had wanted to do. He was talking about that spot like years ago. I actually remember him talking about it, and everyone was telling him how dumb it was, and no. And now
everybody's 2 years later or 3 years later, everybody's like popping for the one spot that he's like, I've been trying to do this for years and nobody wants to do it with me.
Yeah.
No, so like the stories flowed very, very well. I really, really liked them. The matches, right? I liked the KO versus Roman Reigns match. I thought that was really well put together. Obviously, like there was stuff that was happening. Sammy was supposed to be like involved with everything, and the shenanigans were gonna take over. The way it ended, I was like, damn, like that's kind of crazy. As far as like the stuff that was going on with, spoiler for those who haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it, why are you watching us? But the stuff that happened with Jay, right? The stuff that happened with Jay, right? So obviously that was kind of like, oh damn, I didn't see that one coming, but I kind of understood the story, right? Because that's what we were talking about, right? So here's this dude who's been very he's been very cautious of Sammy, right? And then the moment that Sammy like does something to like show his alliance, right, to the bloodline, yep, he turns it. And Jay is just devastated, because here's this dude that he's legit like been in battles with, and they were growing this relationship, and then to watch someone just switch it up and go back to their old friend. And it was just, I could see the devastation in Jay, and I kind of like understood it. So I'm kind of curious to see where the rest of the story plays out from there. But it was definitely heartbreaking to see. I thought the women's championship match, it was just kind of there. Like, and unfortunately, it's because it came after like the shenanigans that happened with Bray Wyatt's match, and then going into that match, it was like I don't really know like what was supposed to be expected, but it just didn't. It just didn't work out the way that it worked out.
It was bad placement. They just got they sucked. They just got sucked.
By the way, for those who are wondering, we're putting a comment down below. It says Cliff owes me $9.99 for my Peacock login. No.
Well then,
good luck with your $10.
Yeah, the women. I think Bianca
also,
and Alexa.
I'm gonna put this out there before we hold on a point. So in that Peacock login, there's legitimately it says the Luhans, right? And I legit create a profile in Anthony's Peacock account that says not the Luhans. Just so like everybody else is like, who created this one? I was like, yo, it just says not the Luhans. Full transparency, Becca was worried about watching like the Real Housewives of like whatever on their account and it would mess up their algorithm. So I just created another profile just for that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it says right there.
That's funny. But my point about the women's championship is that they just got screwed. They got shot in the foot with placement.
Yeah.
I think anything you put after that the pitch black match would have suffered. The match wasn't bad. It was a solid match. I mean, it's just they just got bad placement on the show. That's all.
Speaking of sponsorships and stuff, I have the pitch black mountain too, so I'm trying it for the first time.
Well,
like, on air.
wow, like Cody did yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's alright.
Wow, as I drink,
it definitely does have that citrus. It definitely has that citrus flavor to it, though.
Spark.
Yeah, I was like, I've been waiting like all show to like show that off that I bought the pitch black.
Well, since we're talking about the pitch black, let's talk about Bray Wyatt and that whatever we saw. So
it was a little like it was offsetting. No, so okay, so I'll put it this way, right? I thought the match itself was kind of cool. I like the idea of like a black light match, right? Even though it's the blackout match. I love that idea. I think now everybody's gonna try it on the indie scene because it's what they do. But no, I loved it. I thought it was cool. The match itself, obviously, it's LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. Like if you kind of follow their kind of respective stories, like you already know what you're gonna get kind of out of these matches. I thought it was really great. I'm kind of curious as to see what that mask looks like out of the black light because I thought that was very interesting. And then for me, the howdy thing was you could clearly see like my man missed badly on that drop.
Not even that, but what? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bray's
paint was sick.
Yeah. It was just I was intrigued. I was entertained. Now I'm like, all right, what's next? I think I said this last week. I could care less about Bray Wyatt wrestling. I'm here for now the story. I'm here for wherever the dots connect to and whatever the picture that it makes. I'm here. It's like one of those, connected dots, and it's got like 700 dots. And so I think we've got to like dot 50 out of 700.
Yeah. So but it's like you're so focused on the inside the picture. So we're all like here and we're all watching and we're all trying to look around, but we're all stuck with like this little picture, right? And we're all just waiting for like that giant masterpiece so that we can be pulled back and see like how we've been played the whole time, like almost as if like Bray Wyatt has had this planned since he was Husky Harris. Like that's kind of like the thought process I always have when I look at Bray Wyatt. I'm like, all right, he's fucking with us on a different level. Like, and I just want to know what that level is. I just want to see the whole thing play out.
But yeah, no, the match was cool. I'm just Uncle Howdy totally missed. I'm just here to see. All right, where does Eli? Where I'm about to call him Eli Drake. Where does LA Knight? What's next? Where does he go? Like, it's over, right? Right? Like, is it or is it not?
I don't know. Does he go back to was that Max? Was his Max character?
Max Dupree.
Max Dupree.
Yeah, does he go back to that or does he join the Wyatt Six? And then like the puppets are caught up at the top. I thought was interesting. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like I said, whatever it was cool.
but see, that's the thing about Bray Wyatt. Like we've talked about this like numerous times from like 2 years ago when Bray Wyatt showed up with the Firefly Funhouse. I was intrigued instantly, and I was intrigued from the point that we saw. Oh God, dang it! What's his vulture's name? Remember?
I don't remember the names. I don't
remember he just kept popping out of a box, right?
Yeah,
that was it. And I was so intrigued with everything, and then all of a sudden, like everything started coming into play, right? And then we saw the Firefly. Oh, Mercy, thank you for that, Andy, thank you. Yeah, Mercy. But when Mercy kept showing up, then all of a sudden like the Firefly Funhouse came up, and I was intrigued. And he's on the show. He's probably still watching still, but Anthony was clearly like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." Remember, I think he said it on the show. He's like, "I don't understand it," and I was like, "Bro, just give it time. I promise you, it's gonna make sense." And then the Fiend popped out, and we were all like, "This is the greatest thing ever." And here we are again, watching everything slow burn. And you and I talked about this, like by the way, for anybody wondering, we talk all the time, but we were talking this on our phone call. Like, we watched this slow burn happen, and we know, like, I think right now the fuse is lit, and we're about to see everything just explode. Probably like WrestleMania, everything's gonna happen. We're gonna be like, "Oh, this was worth everything."
Yeah.
But okay, so let's move into our second. Well, we're gonna move into the next topic, right? We're gonna talk about this. Not even to our next topic. We're just gonna move into the next section of our show. We love this show. It's called Tip Check. And here's how things are gonna work. Oh. Go ahead, fire off, ask it out.
Tip Check.
So we're gonna talk about our hottest and our coldest wrestlers of the week. So Chaz, actually give me your coldest wrestler of the week.
My coldest wrestler of the week. The Miz.
Oh my God, yes.
The Miz. And the thing is this, and it's not because like anything he's doing is bad. He's the right person for that spot. It's just he's getting the ass clown treatment, getting the the bad guy that gets embarrassed and for the old baby face. And no, that's fine. Someone's got to do it. But coldest wrestler of the week going with the Miz. His Rumble appearance was a little bit lackluster this year.
So he's not mine, but I'm gonna add to your point, right? It was something that he said on SmackDown, right? He's like, "I've been doing Royal Rumble since before you were born," talking to Theory.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Austin goes, "Well, that just means you're old." And I was like, "Damn!" And he fired off quick, and I was like, "Damn!" And then Miz was like, "It just means I'm more experienced than you." I'm like, bro, you were number 3, and you got thrown out in like 30 seconds, my guy. Like, you need to chill out. Like, cap all the noise, bro. I was like, I can't believe. Yeah, but I definitely, I would have to agree. I think for me, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take. It's gonna be rough for me to say like this, but I gotta give Cedric Alexander like my coldest wrestler, right? Like he comes back, they get walloped, right? Then they don't get put on TV. They're not even in the Royal Rumble, right? Like, man, you could use them as cannon fodder, right? But you didn't have a place for him. Didn't make sense to me. So for me, unfortunately, Cedric, to the Xbox you go, bro. But give me your hottest wrestler of the week.
Is it anybody that? Come on, it's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I mean, let's be real. He won the Royal Rumble. Finish the story, my guy. Come on. We're gonna go finish the story. The work begins. Do the work. Let's go. The Kang, Cody Luther Kang, doing it for the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. That's a good one.
I can't root against the dude. He's been playing his role very, very well. Especially on Monday night when he was on there, he was clearly his focal point of Raw 30, right? And then we move into SmackDown. He wasn't even supposed to be on the show, according to our tribal chief. Shows up anyway, saves Solo, right? And then we get into last night, right? And he's in the match, or he's not even in the match, he's just there, right? And one thing that was very funny was when Roman was like, he said, "Give me the chair, Sammy." And he was like, "You told me not to do anything. I can't do anything. You told me not to." And then Roman's face, like, "Give me a fucking chair, Sammy." And he's like, okay. He took off and he went and got the chair. Bro, it was just all the stuff that Sammy did, like, it's just been a masterclass of like how to get your character together and help drive a story that's not yours, but do it with your character. And just the little nuances that he's been doing and helping push everything and getting him noticed. Because even when he got beat down, Kevin was still handcuffed up and the crowd was still cheering for Sami Zayn. Like, that's on a level of over that like very few people can get on. And for me, I think that's what makes it. And credits to Roman for doing that, like getting this man over. But because Sammy was on his way up and up anyway, but this just put it on another level. And I think Sami Zayn, to me, I can't go against the guy who's going against the tribal chief.
You're right. No, that's facts. That's facts.
All right, so let's talk about our next topic, right? There's a lot of controversy that's going on with this subject. And I kind of think that Chaz and I might be on different levels. So we're going to look at you guys to kind of like give your opinions on what you think. So let's talk about AEW Dynamite, right? And in particular, we're going to talk about the tribute match, right? And it's not that we're talking about the tribute match. It's just that some people have been saying that it's a little too late with the Briscoes, right? Mark and Jay Lethal had an amazing match. They tore the house down. It was so cool to see. But TNT and TBS had made it pretty known. Well, Warner Brother Media and Discovery, I think that's how it's pronounced now. Made it very clear. Made it very, very clear that they didn't want the.
Who cares?
Made it very clear that they didn't want the. They didn't want the Briscoes a part of TNT or TBS. Up until I think it was Tuesday night that they approved everything, right? And so Mark Briscoe flew out, worked Jay in the main event of AEW Dynamite. Also, I don't know if people know, but credits, big ups to Jay Lethal because he worked that killer match, and then like 2 matches later, he was back in that tag match for Rampage.
Yeah,
and like I was like, oh damn, like my man's putting in work. But so I guess really where the debate topic is like, how do we feel about it? How do we feel about the main event, and how do we feel about the Briscoes like finally getting or Mark Briscoe getting a chance to be on?
So the match itself was fire. I think as a tribute match, it did everything it needed to do. I think it was very therapeutic for both men. I think Jay was probably popping while watching the match. And I think the match itself was fine. Nothing was wrong with the match. I'm on the side of, you waited till the man died to put them on TV over something that, hey, he apologized for. I've always been a big Xer. I don't know. I don't know what the right term I want to use, but a person against like sympathy votes and like giving people the credit just because out of sympathy because they passed away. I think that isn't fair not only to them but anyone else. And I feel like as far as because I think Mark and them he's on AEW. the Dynamite, so he can be on TBS and TNT and all that now. But I was just like, well, you could have had his brother on there. You waited till he died to put him on there after they apologized, and that's not right. Because to be completely honest, if Jay was still alive, they wouldn't be on TV. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it $150. Right? Let's call it what it is. They wouldn't have, and that sucks, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Like the circumstances that it had to take for Mark Briscoe to go be on worldwide television. It took from to lose his brother. Is it worth, like, if it was me, I wouldn't be like, all right, cool, I did it. I don't want to be on it. I wouldn't be on there next week or the week after or whatever. I'll stick to ROH when you get your weekly TV, because it probably won't be on TBS or TNT. It'll probably be something completely different. So I'll wait. Or, like, nah, man, it's sad, and that's just the way. And also, that's the industry. It's just the show business industry, period. Not just the wrestling business. As show business, we are a crisis glorified type people. Shut up, Siri. I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, it sucked. It really upsets me that it took that. Because
it's crazy.
Because they've had people on that TV, on that show, and then I'll keep it $1 honest. There are people on Dynamite who've done way worse and said way worse than what Jay has ever said, who are still on that TV and who still work for Warner Brothers Discovery. Period. So not to diminish what Jay said or anything like that, to say that, of like, as far as severity of it is or anything like that. Not, but like, nah, man, it's whack. It's whack. It's whack.
So you brought something up, and I thought about it, and I wish I would have thought about it before we hopped on the show, right? Because you kind of mentioned it, right? Like, it did take Jay passing to get Mark on, and for those who don't know, they buried Jay today, and I didn't even think about that. And when we were talking about this topic, I was like, yo, that makes sense. Until this very moment when you said that, and I was like, shit, like, we legitimately are talking about a topic about a man who literally just got put underground today, and I loved watching the match. I 100% did. And I thought Mark, he set it off, right? But it's one of those things where I just realized, like, we didn't plan this out to be insensitive, right? So our thoughts are always with the Briscoe family, because we know that his little girls are still struggling right now, and our thoughts and prayers just continually reach out to them. And anybody who knows us know that we are all about with them over there in Delaware. But it's like, it does make a point, right? That, like, you waited for this man. You clearly weren't going to wait for an apology. Like, and this is on Warner Brother, right? So this isn't even towards AEW, because I know Tony Khan is working behind the scenes. He's doing everything he's got.
Oh no, absolutely.
To help out.
This is not a knock on Tony.
I just want this. Yeah, I want this to be known.
Tony did, and I know this for a fact, that Tony is doing everything in his power for that family, and that is why you'll never catch me saying really a bad thing about Tony Khan as a person. Like, the man Tony Khan, you'll never hear me say a bad thing about him. Booking choices, as far as wrestling is concerned, that's a different story. But at the man Tony Khan, you can't. That what he has done for that family, and I know he's going to continue to do, is just beyond a blessing to that family. And like, this is not a knock on Tony Khan, because I applaud Tony Khan for not settling on the no, even after the fact. Like, they told him no for the tribute that the week prior. So I give mad props and admiration for Tony Khan for not sticking with the no and keep pushing the issue. Because if he didn't, we wouldn't have gotten, the Mark and Jay Lethal match. We wouldn't have got the tribute live on Dynamite. So absolutely, I give Tony Khan. This is all on a Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah, it goes back to this kind of where I was like getting ready to kind of like, for lack of a better word, like I was really about to point the finger and like take aim at, right? Because you're talking about a studio, right? And for our wrestling fans out there, we're about to divulge a lot of information. Some of it's known, some of it may not be known, right? So we just want you to kind of know, right? But we're talking about the same company, right? That legitimately took Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League and hid it from the world, because what they did was Zack Snyder, I don't know if people know, but Zack Snyder's daughter had drowned, right? And instead of taking a break and letting Zack go mourn and kind of like deal with what he was dealing with his family, Warner Brothers fired or dismissed him from the project, flew in Joss Whedon, and had Joss Whedon finish the project. And that was the first Justice League movie that you guys may have saw, right? That's what he chose. That's what they chose. Then after that, we're not even going to talk about the rest of the bullshit that happened. We can go right into, they're still choosing Ezra Miller to be the Flash after all the DV stuff that happened, right? Behind the scenes, right? We're talking about they stood behind a director who legitimately looked at Gal Gadot and said, if you don't do what I say, I will ruin your career, and stood behind him. They got Ray Fisher fired. The guy playing Cyborg, they dismissed him from all future projects. And this is a dude who was just standing up for himself, because he was like, yo, these are the pressures that I was being put into when I was on the film, right? So there's all these known stuff that's happened behind the scenes with Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery. There's all these things that happen behind the scenes. And you mean to tell me that somebody who tweeted something in 2011 and 2013, right, then apologizes for it a couple years later, can't get on a wrestling product that the fans were clamoring for? Like, anybody who was paying attention, right? You're talking about, at least at a minimum, if FTR and Briscoes are on TNT Dynamite, you're talking, and I'll exaggerate the shit out of it because I can and I want to, 1.5 to 1.75 million people wanting to tune into that match alone. Because when they did it at the Multiverse of Madness, and they did it, at the Ring of Honor shows, those shows exploded with those guys because they were talent, right? That's where I'm kind of like thinking about things, right? So for TNT, for not TNT, but for Warner Media to sit back there on their high horse and be like, nah, it's their stuff that they said about people back in 2011. We don't want them on our TV. Like, bro, like, you need to chill out. Like, the guy apologized. So for you probably should reconsider your position. And I know they got rid of a whole bunch of people on Warner Media executives, right? Like, a lot of people had to step down because of all the deals that happened with Warner Brothers. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just disgusting to think about, because it's like you're holding certain talent back, but then again, other talent that have done stuff that are currently on air, right? You're okay with. Like, I don't know. It's very weird, and to see the pick and choose and the shit that you're gonna hold on to, like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't sit well with me. It actually bugs the shit out of me, and it pisses me off to the point where it's like, dude, like, why did you, like, two dudes from Delaware, right, setting the world on fire, and you guys were like, nah. They said some pretty ridiculous things Jay said some pretty ridiculous things on Twitter, so we don't want him on our air. And now all of a sudden, like, all the situations that happened with Ezra Miller, just getting drunk, badgering some women, and like, and I don't want to downplay that by saying badgering some women, like disgustingly badgering women and kids, and you still choose that guy. And it's not like this was 10 years ago. This was last year, 2022. This man was in the news every other week, and they were like, he's still our Flash. We're still going to stand behind him. Like, this is disgusting. It kills me. And I'm just like, Warner Media, like, does not have a moral compass in themselves. They're just kind of like what they literally do. And PETA, come after us if you want to. They literally cut off a chicken's head, sat it on a circle, and let it run around in a circle. And wherever it fell, that was the punishment that they chose for that person. That's how I believe it. South Park did it, and I'm sure that's how everybody else is doing it. Because I'm like, there's no way, like 30 days. Oh, you said something about another female and what you wanted to do back in 2016. 30 days. You said something. You tweeted some things that were pretty ridiculous about people in the LGBT community. Banned for life. Like what? Like that man apologized. Still, like, come on, man. Like, stop it. Get out of here. And I think Chaz went into the fast zone. Like he's in the speed. He's gone into the future.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I said my 2 cents on it. I don't even got nothing else to say. Fuck that, bro.
So we're gonna keep it moving. We keep things light because this is a show where we definitely want to have communications and fun with you guys. So we want you guys to have fun with us too. If you guys do have things to say, go ahead and tweet it out to us. Let us know what you guys see. But we're gonna move into this or that, and we're gonna talk about this year's Rumble. Okay, so who had the better pop? Was it Cody or was it Chelsea Green? Initial pop. Like, we can't be like, oh, the setup. Like, no.
I don't know. Now I need to rewatch it. I think Chelsea had a more bigger initial pop because of the shock value. But I still think Cody's pop was bigger because they were waiting for it.
Yeah.
They were waiting for it. And I think that's the thing. They were waiting for Cody because they knew it was happening. And as the numbers got on, and then we got to 29 and we realized there's one person that hasn't been in the match yet that we know that it's supposed to be. Oh crap, here he comes. So I'm gonna go with Cody.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Chelsea.
Yeah,
because it was a surprise.
Both were the
both were pretty big, and they were pretty big for different reasons.
Exactly.
Like you said, we all sat on our hands. We're like, when's Cody coming? When's Cody coming? And then we realized like 30, it was Cody. And then on the other side, I mean, no one expected. There was rumors that Chelsea Green had been like supposedly coming back, right? And Matt Cardona was also apparently supposed to return too, but
there was
all rumors, right? The 2-for-1 deal is what people would have said. But no, I think Chelsea was just a bigger surprise to me. I think when the fans realized it was Chelsea Green, like they all exploded. They're like, "Oh my God, she's here!" Like, "Yay, Chelsea!" So I think I'm gonna have to kind of lean towards her Chelsea side. Also, Nia Jax got a pretty big pop too.
Nia got a pop for me because I give her so much flack, and I do love Nia Jax. It's the other it's her other family member I don't like as much.
What was yeah I was gonna say what was your holy shit moment from the Rumbles?
So for the women, I had a lot of oh shits for the women. I thought like I said, the women had a lot more. It was better structured as far as the Rumble goes. Roxanne coming out and actually doing being a significant player in the Rumble, not just being a body.
Yeah,
I thought that was good. The Nia Jax and Raquel stare off was cool. Was like oh shit, like oh wow Nia coming back. Them screwing it up like 10 seconds going and then just playing her music. That was a no shit moment. But out of the men, I think Beth coming out and spearing Rhea. Rhea winning the whole thing was oh shit, knowing the fact that she came at number 1. Being only the 4th person to do that. I think, is that the correct number?
That was it.
That is the correct number, including you know who.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I wanted to make sure I was like, because I heard Michael Cole say when I rewatched it again today, I was like, wait a minute, I'm like, are they leaving out Benoit? But okay. But yeah, she's only the 4th person to do it. For the men, oh shit. It wasn't Booker T coming out because I saw that coming. I knew that. Booker T coming out is not a surprise. I see him every week on NXT. It's not a surprise if I see him. That you did this before, and I know Booker wrestles still, and I know they know that Booker still wrestles, and we all know that Booker's in tip-top shape. So why not throw him in there as a body?
Right.
Let him do his greatest hit and get thrown out. That's what happened. So
that's exactly what happened.
I mean, but as far as like him, those legends that come back for the Rumble, that's what you're supposed to do. Get the pop. Oh shit, he's back. Do your greatest hits. Get out of here.
Spin a Rooney over the top.
Yeah, man. Like seriously. Cody winning. I think Cody and Gunther one-on-one match, because that's what that was at the end. Wasn't oh shit, because I knew he was. I said it. Noah was there, and Machiavelli was in the car. I said it. I said, oh, it's Gunther and Cody. Yep, Cody's about to get her ass beaten, and he got more of an ass beating. I think Gunther,
go ahead.
Gunther beat him for leaving us. Like, this is what you get for getting injured. Chop.
Right on that pack.
Right.
Right on your bad pack. That's what you get.
I thought he was going to re-injure. I thought he was going to re-injure it again just because he was chopping him so hard. But yeah, those are my old shit moments, really.
I'll tell you the one that got me right on the women's side was when I forgot who Bailey picked up, right? But she had her pretty much like in a burning hammer position.
Yes. And what you call it came and kicked. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my god. I was like, oh shit. Oh, she's okay. Because that looked rough.
Yes.
I was like, that was a bunch of suck.
I was like, oh, we gotta do that, guys. That was tough.
That was a moment that got me up, and I was like, oh damn, I hope she's okay. There was another one too that looked kind of funky that was similar to that. And I was like, yeah, let's not do that again. The other one that from the men's side was God dang it, not Angelo. What was I can't remember the Street Profits.
Dawkins?
No, not Dawkins.
Montez Ford?
Montez. Yeah, how Montez got eliminated and he just landed on his feet. Like outside. It didn't make sense. Cause like it was weird. It was like Priest had him for like a choke slam. And as he goes to choke slam, he just throws him outside. And then Montez lands on his feet and he just stares at the crowd. And I was like, I don't know if that was how that was supposed to play out. But I was like, what happened? Because
maybe it was.
He looked confused. Like he got thrown out.
Well, I mean, he was about to get choke slammed, and
and then he's just like, I'm just gonna land on my feet outside and just stare at the rest of the crowd. I was like, yo, but you're out. Like, I don't know if you noticed or not.
Well, I mean, think about it. That's smart. Why take the choke slam on the outside when you can just land on your feet? I mean, hey, I'm out regardless. So
yeah, but it was just like, oh shit, what? that was where I was, and because I don't expect everybody to take like the crazy back bumps, right? But then also or maybe
that's just us thinking too much logic.
Maybe. But they're like, well, or like maybe it's that we're thinking that if we get thrown outside, we're gonna land on our back and try to keep our feet in the air because like technically our feet haven't touched the ground yet.
Alrighty then.
I don't know. But it's weird though because like that was one of those moments too. And then like Gunther and Drew just throwing chops at each other.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I don't want to not Gunther, but I've said this a couple times on this show about him, right? When Gunther was on the Indies, Walter was on the Indies. Walter was very mystic, right? He was like this force, this reckoning of a dude. Like you brought in Walter to destroy somebody, right? Now I still think Walter is that dude in WWE, right? But I feel like watching Walter in WWE is like watching just I don't want any other regular 6 foot plus dude in the ring, if that makes sense. Like, because the way I always imagined Walter was that he was this Drew McIntyre type of guy until I saw him with Drew McIntyre, and I was like, Gunther is just like I don't know. It just feels like it'd be like me and Ricochet staying next to each other, and people thought that like I was like massive, right? And I stand next to Ricochet. I'm like, Ricochet's like maybe a couple inches taller than me, and like it's just what I look at, and I'm like, yo, I love watching Gunther work because all of his stuff is clean. Everything about him is clean. But I imagine when I saw him on the Indies working Jordan Devlin, working Name Redacted, right? That he was just destroying people left, right, and center. And then I'm just kind of like,
yeah. I
was like, I still like him, and I still enjoy watching all of Gunther's work.
It's the free version of Gunther, not the paid.
Yeah,
version.
it is. It's exactly what I'm saying. I like premium Walter way better.
You. What you got was you got Gunther light.
Yes.
Yeah, you got Gunther's just Walter light. In order to get Walter, you got to pay $9.99 a month.
And just like Walter, you guys get this show for free. But what does that mean about what's happening right now? Well, like every great part of a wrestling match and how I like to end this thing on Now Entering the Ring.
Okay.
We're going to take this home.
I was wondering where I was like, oh, where were you going with this?
Because you guys know what to do. Go check us out every single Sunday or every Tuesday, depending on if we have shows for Now Entering the Ring, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you guys get your stuff at, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to give us those 5-star /reviews on Apple Podcasts. Also, answer a question on Spotify because we definitely put that out there, right? Whether you guys like the show or what you guys feel about the episodes. We even put out our questions, right? Answer those questions. Let us know. Interact with us, right? Chop us up here on Twitter at 3count_pod. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, right? 3countpod. Follow Chaz. I have to remember, I got to point this way now. Follow Chaz on all your social media platforms, right? What is it? It's Chaz_the Don or
on
the
everything.
Don _Chaz.
No, yeah. Chaz_the Don on everything.
On everything.
I make it easy for you. You have no excuse not to follow me. You have no excuse. None.
And of course, you can follow all my stuff at _RedDog85 because, I try to keep it simple for y'all too. Go to our prowrestlingtees.com/3count podcast and go pick up some merch. It'll be there for however long Chaz wants it to be up there for. And then expect us to be on For Your Wear here soon. You guys can also go on foryourwear.com/pure ignorance or red-dog and go pick up your merch from us because, we definitely appreciate it. The more that you guys go out and spread the good word on the Red Dog or Pure Ignorance or Chaz or Prince or Noah, the boys of, ignorant dogs. The more you go out there and spread the good word about us, the more that we can get stuff together for you guys and get that all the stuff up and running. And you guys can get all like the fancy schmancy kind of things, like, a better show. Like if you guys want that. But in the meantime, between time, what we need from you guys is to just pick another episode and listen to us there because this one's over. We're done. We're in this one. This number 30 entrant just got in and we just got thrown over the top rope. So 28 and 29, We out.
Hey guys, it's the host of the 3 Count, Chaz Evans here. Make sure to let you know that I don't run shit, I don't do shit, I just talk shit. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast. What else should you do? You should also follow us on all social medias. That's the Facebook at 3 Count Podcast, the Instagram at 3 Count Pod, and the Twitter at 3 Count _ pod. Also, if you like us a lot, you should definitely buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/3countpod, and that's the number 3. Don't be an idiot and type in THREE, because you're not going to find anything. So make sure you follow us at 3 Count Pod or 3 Count _ pod on Twitter and buy a shirt. Be there or be somewhere else.